Hey, Hare Krishna, Duvid here in Novi. Looks like you got a horse this year. So, Hare Krishna, this is the annual Michigan Ratha Yatra. It was postponed due to COVID-19. Usually happens July, July 19th or something, around third week of July almost every year, but because of COVID-19, unfortunately, you had to keep people safe and cancel. So we have a special limited Rath Yatra. So we have the horse actually this year. So previous years we had the cart that is brought from a Prabhupada disciple who I think spends the summer, a large part of the year, bringing things around to the different cities that have the Ratha Yatra. So this year we probably just rented a carriage, so they have a horse, pretty awesome. I mean, in India, obviously, usually they would, you have like bulls, cows for these festivals. And we might be able to do that in future years now with the Harmony House has cows. It looks like Mother Malati. I think that's her. I can't tell, but it looks like Mother Malati just pulling up. So our regional director comes every year for Ratha Yatra is here, and get the kirtan going. We'll see how well people could keep social distancing, but everyone has masks on, and I mean we're pretty professional crowd, I guess. Most of these people are highly educated, about an average degree, master's degree or something. A lot of engineers, programmers, some doctors. So I wouldn't expect any problems with keeping the COVID-19 regulations relatively, although, like 6 feet or something is almost impossible for people to keep. I was mentioning the correlation between impulse control and IQ. But keeping social distancing is largely a constant impulse control, just to pay attention to what you're doing. So it's related to like a devotee, someone of religious study or any field that has maintained a high mastery of the general field impulse control. The impulse control is correlated to IQ in general, and wealth actually. But it's a learnable skill, so I would expect relatively high degrees of ability to do this festival safely, I guess, with COVID-19. So, we got the chanting, we got the cart ready. I'm not sure if the city council is going to come. We don't have a stage set up. I wasn't part of the organizing team. I'm glad they put it together. I helped out in previous years, so if they're doing it, I'll be here, and I think I'm actually going to be able to man the broom like I usually do. So I usually actually don't ramble, but just because of the social distancing, that it's not ecstatic chanting. It's conceivable to have ecstatic chanting and social distancing, but it could be a sign from higher forces that now is not the time for, so to say, ecstatic chanting. I mean, generally, it is the only way, it is the only way, it is the only way, and you have to have ecstatic chanting, and but if it puts other people in danger, it should be limited. So it's not, Ratha Yatra is basically known for the ecstatic chanting. I mean, I have Gopal Krishna Goswami from previous years at the Novi Civic Center explaining Ratha Yatra. There's plenty of material. I have all the books. We don't even have the books set up here. Usually it'd be a whole festival with food and all the Festival of India, which is also traveling. Just like the usual cart, the Festival of India is largely travels around the nation, and the various big cities make the Ratha Yatra at different weeks. So
Lady Subhadra. And here are the girls. Haribol.
So we usually have the city officials here, but we've been given special clearance from the city officials to hold Ratha Yatra in a social distance way, and so we'll try our best.
Burns and ashes I remember drifting side by side. Sunrises over new hotels, sages close their eyes. My heart flows like a river to the sea. May always be grace.
Hello. Hare Krishna, Jai Jagannath. So I am going to present a Lord Jagannath slokas in Odissi dance form. As we all know that Odissi is not just a classical dance form, it's a part of Jagannath culture. You can see the crown, the head crown, the tahiya, is belong to Lord Jagannath. So Odissi is the dance which always the Lord loves. And being from the state of Odisha and a great devotee of everyone is a devotee, and I want to present among all of you this dance so that I can give the gift of dance in the form of focus to the Lord. Thank you. Hari Bol. Jai Jagannath.
Busy అంటే కొంచెం పని పది అంటే బిజీగా ఉంటుంది ఎట్లంటే బిజీగా ఉంటుంది యా అప్లికేషన్ స్టార్ట్ చేసారు
Okay. So I gotta check the chat. I got the sun. Yeah, Yom Kippur tonight is starting at sundown. So no weekend review this week because of the Day of Judgment. Ironically, Ratha Yatra has came out on Jewish fast days here in Metro Detroit. Like it came out on Tisha B'Av like twice. It came out on the first of the 3 weeks, the half fast day a few times. So now it's coming out right before Yom Kippur. So hopefully that's actually a good sign. I'm hoping that's a good sign. But yeah, tonight is Yom Kippur. So blessings, anybody should be sealed in the book of life for peace and prosperity, wealth, happiness, nachas, family success, the whole world, everything in it. And Ratha Yatra has an astrological date in Jagannath Puri that's celebrated, but it's considered really a positive, good thing anytime it's celebrated. So it's celebrated in major cities all around the world, but it has an astrological date in July. Jagannath Puri, and there's information, where there's 2 different temples and the deities are taken out. They go another temple for a week and come back, and it's fascinating. Maybe one day I'll have time to put together like a public study session on Lord Jagannath, and the ISKCON literature is fascinating, but it's actually disputed the origins of Lord Jagannath, and even the Jains have Lord Jagannath in their pantheon, and it's a matter of dispute among scholars, even the origins of Lord Jagannath, who is almost like a universally venerated deity, so to say, within larger Hinduism. That obviously ISKCON, Prabhupada, Lord Chaitanya, the Gaudiya Vaishnava line has a certain theological understanding of Lord Jagannath, and the history, King Indradumana, it's very interesting. But just to mention that it is in other traditions, including like Jain, that venerate Lord Jagannath. And so usually Ratha Yatra is set up like a festival of India, and we have food and clothes and everything, and thousands of people come. But due to COVID-19, it's basically just the devotees. I'm trying. It said like usually this Ratha Yatra is affiliated with ecstatic chanting, but besides for I say in Yiddish there's the Hartstanz, like the heart could dance, but there could be dancing, but it's saying within the confines of social distancing, it's very difficult to celebrate Ratha Yatra with ecstatic dancing and chanting, because ecstatic dancing and chanting is usually affiliated with the loss of bodily control. Lord Chaitanya, and all the stories are well known, but some conceivability you could have ecstatic chanting and keep social distancing, but the general idea is the person completely loses their ego, and the chanting overtakes the body, and what would be the likelihood that you could have the ideal ecstatic chanting and maintain social distancing? So it's very difficult, but we'll still have the celebration. So I'm not sure, I'm not sure if there's going to be a program. Mother Malati may speak. I saw Mother Malati here. So I assume she's going to speak. So maybe I'll keep the live stream going just with the chanting till the program starts, and I hope to do the broom. So once the Ratha Yatra actually starts, I'll be manning the broom.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Oh, thanks, Rum. Gemar Fatima Tova, Rum, thanks. Yeah, it's interesting, Colin. I don't know if horses could get COVID-19. I know they had lions and various things. Hare Krishna.
Long time, how are you?
There you go.
Doing well?
Excellent. Yeah. So, managed food service, prasad service. 10 years now we've been handing out food, but the last few months we stopped doing it. They probably got like the pod things. I mean, most people, because a lot of the bhakti rickshaws, what they call it in Sanskrit, like these little groups of devotees. So they probably got pods, but yeah, for years and years, every week on Sunday, I did food distribution, sometimes hundreds of people. And then I added to 2 temples, Farmington Hills, once they built that temple, and Detroit. So, yeah, I did prasad distribution with a lot of these people for years and years, but we haven't done that for months because of COVID-19. None of the temples are doing prasad distribution, although I'm sure these devotees still have the pods, your bhakti rickshaws to you educate their kids and do devotional service, at least in small groups. But it is interesting. It's possible the horse technically should have a mask on. I don't know. I would assume that, I don't know if it has an ACE2 receptor. I mean, if the horse does have an ACE2 receptor, and obviously SARS mares came from a camel. So that is an interesting point that the horse maybe should have a mask on. I'm going to be doing the broom, and the broom is actually quite close to the horse because I'm going to be basically right in front of the horse. I might still have my mask on. I'm going to put the, I got my thing I'll put over my head. You got me worried, Colin. I mean, you tune in and you mentioned that as a joke, but like now I'm scared I'm going to get COVID-19, God forbid, from the horse. It's staring right at me, but like, nah, I mean, it probably is safe.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama.
But just was saying that SARS has came a few times in the past, and one of the forms was mares, which was from a camel. That was extremely deadly. I think it was at least 70% death rate of the people that caught it, but it was basically like Saudi Arabia, the Arabian Peninsula, and it's unclear the nature of, is it a camel virus, or is it a human virus, back and forth, but it has killed hundreds of people, and it does go from camels to people. And they did find the virus in lions or something like that. So this is interesting to think about it. The likelihood, I don't know. So I'll have to take the risk. Maybe I'll quarantine myself after this. I was gonna quarantine for a few days after this anyways. It's Yom Kippur. I'm not going to synagogue anyway, so
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Aisha. I was live streaming this, and someone just asked me, do horses get COVID-19? Should the horse have a mask? I know the camel, SARS was in the camel. That's how. Yeah, I just saw someone, maybe they were joking, but they said the horse should have a mask. And that man's a doctor. In fact, his wife was on the COVID-19 team. I have her on my event for, God forbid, Bhakti Charu Goswami, who died of COVID-19. Gopal Krishna Goswami got COVID-19 and survived. Thank God. But obviously, India is a very populous place. Keeping social distance in India is much more difficult. But that man's a doctor, and his wife is a doctor who even specializes in COVID-19. But it's an interesting question. There you go. So I came for the broom.
Oh, you're looking for it?
I came to do the broom
Oh, yeah.
for the Ratha Yatra.
It's not started, right?
No. You just got to play Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Can I ask you a question? I was live streaming this, and I think the person was joking, but they were saying you have to put a mask on the horse. The horses get flus and viruses. Okay, yeah, I think the person was joking, but they're saying how come the horse doesn't have a mask on? Yeah, I'm taking she knows. Like I didn't have time to Google it. Someone's here, like seriously trolling that a horse could get COVID-19. And like Googles it and tells me, but yeah, we have permits from the city or something. Like I assume that if a horse could get COVID-19, they would know about it. So someone's Googles it and tells me otherwise. But it was interesting just to think, because we know that the camel SARS, another version came from camel.
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama.
Hare Krishna, Oswald. Happy Yom Kippur tonight. May we all be sealed in the book of life. Another year of peace, prosperity, health, wealth, wisdom, mental acuity. Got Mother Malati, regional director, so she's going to speak. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Gotta get the kirtan. So, Hare Krishna, Mother Malati. I was live streaming. Someone joked that you got to put a mask on the horse too. But then they said that glad we found a way to put it together. Yeah, unfortunately, congregational chanting is one of the highest likelihoods of spreading COVID-19. So, I mean, the Hare Krishna movement is completely built upon congregational chanting. I mean, there's more to it, so it could survive without congregational chanting. But ironically, congregational chanting is tested to be one of the most likely methods of spread of COVID-19. And God forbid, Hasidim Orthodox Jews, Yom Kippur tonight, I'll be praying alone. I'm not going to ramble during the chant to a message off of your Ratha Yatra and ISKCON, but saying chanting works. So a lot of people have atheistic beliefs and try chanting largely because it works, like as a mental exercise, quieting the mind in various things. If you're a believer in chanting, it's because it works. There's a spiritual realm, there is a God, and it works. So, but it's tough to be an atheist. You need, impulse control, clearing your mind. I've been doing the streams on chess, and chess is a form of mental exercise and meditation. But I could see Sam Harris, like Howard Stern, Seinfeld, or transcendental meditation. Yeah, I mean, Howard Stern and Seinfeld chant Hare Krishna unquestionably, but they may still exhibit signs of atheism. But chanting works, and there is a God. So even if a person starts chanting as an atheist, it, in theory, it will affect them. I mean, the verse is very clear in Bhagavatam. Even if a person chants Krishna's name by mistake, that it could liberate their soul. Even the Farmington Hills Temple, I've heard whole classes on that. Narayana, the evil man who called his son Narayana, not even because he wanted to repent at his death, but just because he was calling his son, and his son was the name of the deity, that he was liberated. So that does make sense that, like, Sam Harris as an atheist, just because his situation may be getting out of hand, he needs to come on to some technique, mental technique. So he might choose something like chanting Hare Krishna, largely because it works. And but you see the spiritual effects, and you're saying, Hare Krishna is not the only mantra. And even within ISKCON, Hare Krishna is not the only mantra. Hare Krishna is just the most potent force in the current age of Kali Yuga. And these are high IQ guys, and you'll probably do somewhat ecstatic dancing and keep social distancing. And it's saying it's not impossible. It's like President Trump says, a lot of these things could go on forever and be good things, like not shaking hands, even social distancing. Saying, like, what would it be like if, God forbid, COVID-19 forced people to recognize each other's space? You're just like, dude, you're in my space. Like, I deserve a little area around me that is not crowded into. And it was saying like, maybe that's my right as a person to have that thing. And um, COVID-19 might force that upon us. That if there is a second wave, or it could go on for years, God forbid, that like keeping social distancing will become the norm for humanity moving forward. And Romopada said, I should have video. I mean, Romopada's on his page. I asked him that question. He's saying it's like none of the we're not expecting the world to be the same after if we beat COVID-19. And my guess is social distancing, at least the ability for people to do it and be cognizant, is a positive thing for probably everybody.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Hare Krishna. Welcome to 2020 Ratha Yatra, very historic day on this most auspicious Padmini Ekadashi in Purushottam Mahaprabhu. By the mercy of the Lord Jagannath, Srila Prabhupada, we're able to celebrate. So just a couple of logistics. So we'll be starting the procession in about 5 minutes. If you would like to walk with the procession, you're most welcome to. You'll walk, and then after the procession, you'll come back, get your car, and then we'll have another car procession to take darshan of the deities. Otherwise, if you don't want to walk, you're also welcome to follow the chariot in your vehicle from the beginning. So you have two options. Either you can walk, you'll go most of the way and then come back, retrieve your vehicles, and then go back to the deity tent. That's option A. Option B is you can follow the chariot with your vehicle now and make your way to the deity tent. So again, two options. We'll be starting in about 5 minutes. If you prefer to follow your car in the chariot, you can begin to line up your car behind the chariot now. If you're not, and again, if you're going to walk, you'll walk and then come back and retrieve your vehicle. Everybody will come through their vehicles up to the deities, because your vehicle is going to get a very, very special surprise. So you want to make sure your vehicle also has darshan of Lord Jagannath, because your car will get a very special surprise. So don't miss out on that opportunity. Hare Krishna.
Historically, that's been helicopters dropping flower petals, so it might be the same thing, maybe something differently.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Too late for a flower garland. I planted some flowers at my house in Southfield and made a few garlands. It only produced, I only made like 10 garlands last the whole summer. But I think I drove to Cincinnati and gave my grandmother flower garlands I made myself. She used to grow marigolds also. Um, but my parents are having construction at their house. So my parents have a bigger lot. I used to plant hundreds of marigold flowers. I even was able to make hundreds of garlands some summers. I planted literally like hundreds of marigold flowers at my parents' house. Not as much as the Detroit Temple, who probably makes thousands of garlands over the summer. But, so unfortunately, I guess the chess club, most of the garlands I give away at the chess club. So the chess was canceled. So, I really didn't have anyone to give the I probably should have. If I were a better man, I would have planted marigolds and made more garlands and just figured a way to give them to people. But I didn't really do that so much this year. I saw. See if he gives me a garland. I'm gonna stop the filming, so we're gonna start. So Hare Krishna. I'm gonna help out. Hopefully, I'm gonna man the broom. Hare Krishna, everybody. Hopefully, I think other people. We got Jagadisha here, my friend from Farmington Hills Temple. Will be taking pictures, and I wouldn't be surprised if someone else films it. But I'm probably gonna sign off. Juga Kishore is here. I guess Oswald. I mean, it's just in the chat. You don't gotta ask, but I'm looking at it right now. So if you type in it right now, see it. I'm about to sign off. God forbid. God forbid. Okay. Okay. So start the dancing. Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
I helped create the
Hare
University of
Ram,
Michigan
Ram,
Bhakti
Hare
Yoga
Hare.
Society for ISKCON. So I got my University of Michigan mask, but that's where I know a lot of these people from. We
Hare
went to school
Krishna, Hare
together
Krishna,
at
Krishna
University of
Krishna,
Michigan.
Hare
So
Hare, Hare
it's actually the
Ram,
only mask
Hare
I have.
Ram, Ram Ram,
I'm
Hare
usually isolated, so
Hare.
I'm only around people a few minutes a day. Today I'll be
Hare
around people a few
Krishna,
hours, but
Hare Krishna,
usually I'm only around people a
Krishna
few minutes a day. Pop the
Krishna,
mask
Hare
on.
Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Okay, I'm really gonna sign off this time and grab the broom. So Hare Krishna, everybody. Hopefully the merit of Lord Jagannath, we should all be blessed. Yom Kippur, good tidings. Be in the mode of service and goodness. I want to be a good person. I want to serve God. I want to do the right thing. So merit of the Lord Jagannath, Yom Kippur. Good things to everybody. I'm still here. To the broom. That's my favorite thing. The broom part of this service. It really is beautiful from the story. But I like doing the broom in front of the carriage. We got 2 of them this year. I've been doing it for years, and it's actually very. Anyone who knows the theology of it, the king himself did the broom in front of the carriage for the Lord. I've told the story in a week interview. It's actually this man right here, Nitya Krishna Das, that I heard the story from about the guy trying to become enlightened, so he becomes a servant to the most important man in his town, and so on, till he eventually becomes a servant to the king, and then he sees the king bow to a sannyasi, just a renunciate beggar, and then he becomes enlightened. So that message I really love, similar to Hasidus. In fact, my scholarship basically concluded that the Hasidus probably took it from Hinduism. So the broom, the mystical broom, cleaning the streets of bad karma. Duvid loves doing that. So thank you, Lord Jagannath.
Hare Krishna. If anybody would like to join the procession in the